Good morning, and I'm already at a loss for words. So I'm just going to dive right in while I can remember exactly what I woke up with on my mind. The word pastiche, and how I recognize it being more valid in today's music creation, especially with the influence of AI. I've seen it over decades when I'm hired by a record label to produce a new artist or develop a new artist. They'll give me a list of attributes they want to build out and develop into an artist by way of looking at other established artists and applying the same character traits or musical references or styles, or whether it's visual or musical. They want to fast track, to break it down easier. They want to fast track a new artist to the level of an established artist. And pastiche is when you mimic, steal, lift character identity from another artist in order to fast track your own career. This is centuries old. This is nothing new. But with AI, because of the fact that it is just pulling from the top artists, as I've said in past videos, AI is built on hit songs. It has dissected by frequency and phrase and rhythmic characteristics, patterns of hit songs. So when all you've ever known in your life is hit songs, you kind of get a sense of how to produce or how to write a hit song. So this is AI. This is why everything sounds like, oh shit, that could be a hit. No, because that's what it was bred on. That's what it was learned. That's what the model has ingested, is hit music. And even more so, it's like a popularity contest, and I've said this in a past video as well, where the user base is what is defining what is popular in AI. So if people are constantly, referencing pop artists or current top artists, then that's what it's going to be pulling from. So you don't have a whole bunch of users going in there saying, I'm looking for something like Barry Manilow. No, they're looking for something like SZA, or obviously Drake, or Somber, or just take Gaga, anybody that is current, and most predominantly Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Benson Boone. This is what is being pummeled through the machine. Make me music like hit records that are current. I've even spent months going through prompts and working with companies under NDAs, figuring out how to trigger sameness, likeness, draw out the characteristics of a popular artist that may be influencing the generative output. So I have an understanding of how this works and how to get around the ethics that are involved in AI music creation. So when I look at the word pastiche, fast tracking your career based on the back of somebody else's career, this is all that's going on with AI. And again, this is nothing new. This has been going on for decades in the music industry. All they want is what is successful now. It's like a joke I used to say when I'd have lunch with anybody in Los Angeles. I say, see that guy over there? What do you think he's going to order? And we look for the most successful person in the room. And ultimately, the guy goes, I'll have what he's having, pointing to the most successful person in the room. By way of that might be a connection. You know, I ordered the Benedict II with a side of sausage. I don't like my sausage on the Eggs Benedict, but Spielberg over there, that's the way he likes it, so I'm going to like it that way too. And then people are going to recognize me for liking exactly what Spielberg likes. And I'm going to be in the group. I'm going to be in the club. The Sausage on the Side Benedict Club. But this is how it works. And it's worked for centuries, decades, in artistry. This goes back to the Genius Society. The Genius being a group of geniuses that feed off of each other. But the difference there is they were all growing up together. Nobody just jumped into the group and fast-tracked 25 years of expertise, which is happening now. This is what people are able to do, is fast-track, leaving behind any emotional connection to what they're doing as an artist. They can just immediately sound like another artist, another popular artist, and people go, well, I love X artist, so obviously I'm going to love what you're doing because it sounds exactly the same. So this just makes music monochrome. There's nothing to really define this collection of artists anymore. They all sound alike. It's the same 4 chords, and it's the same keys, and it's the same tempos. Another way I know that is when you write for a popular artist, publishing companies have a list from the record label or from the producer. This is what is popular on radio. This is what is selling records. In these tempos, so the music flows seamlessly when it's being played back, and in the keys, so that they can actually program songs in the same key, so there isn't this big, crumbling rush of frequency and chordal and melodic content when the next song comes in and just skews your ear in that moment, like, holy fuck, what key is that? This isn't working for me. I was in a pretty relaxed mood, and then all of a sudden this fucked me up over here. We went minor and hard minor. So everything is curtailed to the listening experience. So all your keys have to be in accordance to what the labels want and what the artists are currently working on with their producers. So when you look at it that way, you're already in the world, in the land of pastiche. So where does it end? And where does the artist shine through with all of that? Well, we're going to get back into the little tidbit of AI that I've shared in the past. AI only knows what has been done. It is not going to create anything new. Humans create legacy and connection. AI creates output. AI has no intention. There's a list of things. Matter of fact, I'm going to post a list of things on the screen so you can see all this little collection of things that I have off to the side, speaking points that I have recognized in AI and human artistry. First off, an artist is a vessel of lived experience. while AI has none. An artist carries emotional memory. AI does not feel. An artist chooses and edits through intention, while AI follows patterns. An artist evolves with time and reflection. AI is static without data updates. An artist's imperfections are part of their signature. AI polishes patterns. An artist takes risks and wrestles with meaning. AI simply simulates. And finally, an artist leaves legacy of humanity. AI leaves output without a soul. So when all of these things come together, it makes you realize how important the human artist is and how emotional artistry is to society. We feed off connection. For instance, I was hanging with some friends last night, and my buddy Mark, we were sitting outside. It was a beautiful night. We were listening to Radiohead, and just this playlist that he created of songs that represent him. And as we went through these songs, we would talk about the first time we heard the song, or why we liked the song, or what the song meant to us. That's human experience right there. That's valuable human experience. That is a shared experience. We both agree we're not going to listen to AI and go, I remember the first time I heard that, and it really hit me and has stuck with me for years because I feel it represents me as a character. If you represent yourself as a soulless, vacuous character, then sure, you're going to love AI. If music has nothing to do with you on an emotional level, if you listen to it strictly as background music, and you never pay attention to who the artist is or why the artist even exists, then sure, you're a candidate for loving AI music. And in fact, a lot of the playlists are infiltrated with AI music specifically to fool the listener and to not have to pay royalties on that music on streaming services. That's a whole other conversation. But people are being fooled daily when they're listening to playlists that are curated by the platforms. Where I come from, I want to discover my artists. I want to discover new music. I love it. I absolutely love discovering something new, especially when my kids bring me something new. My 13-year-old daughter just went to see Conan Gray. Fantastic artist. You know, I actually like the music. I understand why she connects to the music. Benson Boone. Both of these, we've seen the artist in an arena. And it's nothing short of spellbinding. It's wonderful. I can say that. Extremely entertaining. But these kids sing their asses off, man. And the music is great. And they know how to connect with their audience. They're still young, and they're still trying to figure out who they are. But there's a level of authenticity in their naivete that really just pushes their connection forward, you know, to people in their demographic, people in their playlist world. Just like I would stand in line waiting for a record to come out. And I knew the only place I was going to be able to hear that music was on the record. They played a single on the radio that I had to sit around and press record on a cassette in order to, you know, capture it in that moment with some kind of PSA at the end and the weather at the end. So I know that feeling of connection and that drive and that passion to be connected to an artist. And that's really what I want to push forward with this conversation here. How important originality and authenticity is. Breaking the mold, breaking the concept of pastiche is so important, because there's nothing less valuable than derivative art. It doesn't mean anything. You are doing nothing different than what AI is doing. When you're stealing somebody's art, when you're stealing somebody's character in order to bypass this emotional time frame that they have lived in order to put yourself next to them or on the same level to hopefully achieve their level of success, you're duping yourself, first of all. And the audience is going to, they're going to pick up on this shit. But this is the same thing with AI. People that are using AI to write their songs, it's the truest definition of pastiche. And that's boring. Incredibly boring. It is soulless. It is heartless. It is calculated. It is narcissistic. It is impersonal. Most importantly, inauthentic. So I'm going to keep this one short because I really want to enjoy my coffee, and I'm just holding it here. So take that with you today. On daylight savings time is what it is. Yeah. AI is pastiche on the grandest scale of it all. This is why originality and authenticity is what is going to salvage the industries, the art community as a whole. I joke with my friend Marcus that the only thing AI can't do is dance. So if you want to have a career in the arts, go buy some Campezios and some stretchies and get to work. But as we know, I'm not a great dancer. So I'm going to double down on what I've done for 40 plus years. Music. And love music. Because when I'm involved in music, there is nothing greater about me, because that transfers to who I am with people, with my family. When I'm resonating in music, when I'm resonating in my truth, I'm just a better fucking person. When I'm not being creative, I can be an asshole. It's really that simple. And I'm sure there are people in my present and my past that can attest to this. And we're not going to get into that. So I'm going to leave you with it. Go get some coffee. Do whatever you're doing. And by the way, I'm not drinking coffee because everybody on fucking YouTube drinks coffee. It's just that I'm doing these early in the morning, and this is when I drink my coffee. So, fuck you for the pastiche comparison.